Well, it is shearing day here. We have got all the ewes brought in. They're separated from the lambs, so some of the lambs are a bit noisy, but they'll be back out with them in no time. We're just waiting for the lads to arrive. They bring a trailer, and we'll set up our race. They have a bit of a race. Sheep get pushed up onto this trailer, they pull them off, and their fleeces will be coming off. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to shearing in terms of does it hurt the sheep? Absolutely not. It's absolutely vital for their welfare. Obviously helps with temperatures, but also reduces the chance of fly strike and them getting maggots as well. So we'll have some much smaller looking sheep very soon. So we have our handling system set up here as well. So the sheep are coming out of the fold yard behind me. We'll run them out of here, down this concrete ramp, and having a bit of a funnel here. This gate will close behind them to then have this pen to force them here. We will connect these two gates here onto the trailer and race that the shearers bring. Here we are with the trailer all set up and connected onto our race. This sheep is Dino. Some of you might recognise Dino from when I spray painted his wool with the Back British Farming. For Back British Farming Day, he acts as kind of the decoy sheep because he's quite friendly and calm. He goes on the trailer at the front and basically just encourages all the other sheep to come on. And here we go. I've had to mute the audio, unfortunately, because the boys have a big speaker and I don't think YouTube likes other songs. You can see I'm waiting there to wait for a fleece to be fully taken off the ewe, and then I'll collect it and get it wrapped up and into the wool sheet or the wool bag. I have serious respect for anybody who, well, either shears their own sheep or, like these lads, goes out and shears thousands of sheep for other people. It is a serious job, a lot of skill, a lot of strength. In between wrapping fleeces, here I am, crucial job, brushing up the little bits of fleece out of the way off the floor, but also it's really important to clear the trailer as well. So when you can get in between the lads, it's important to keep that as clear as possible too. If you watch Ollie here, the way he just pulls this ewe off there and manages to manhandle her, but in a very gentle way, is amazing. I can't tell you how heavy some of these sheep are, and the boys make it look easy in how they control them, using their legs, using their arms, using their strength, and it's amazing to watch. And you can see close up there what a neat job they do. And that's us done, just getting the trailer wrapped up, and importantly, we are just about to have a beer. It's so important to feed and water your shearers. They've obviously done us a really, really good job. And it's all about this bit at the end, you're done, and yeah, you know that you've had a bit of hard work, but actually important for the sheep. And yeah, time to just socialise now. I'm just taking a walk in one of the fields which we have shut off to be mown. So the sheep are grazing some of it, but they would never have kept on top of the grass. So hopefully today's the day. If we can get somebody to come and mow it, then we'll be dropping this grass. A mower is something that we can't justify the cost of. We don't have enough grass to be doing that, so we get a neighbour to come and do that part of the haymaking process. Well, we'll be trying to make hay. We might not get it dry enough for that, so we'll see. The crop of grass isn't going to win any records, but there's enough in the bottom and it's looking well. If we don't get it now, you don't quite know what's going to happen with the weather. If we waited, yes, it will grow a fair bit, but also combined with other work and the rain, the weather, which may come, we then might not make as good hay or haylage as we want to. This field is on the side of the driveway, hence why I can drive and film, but there we go, with the grass being mown. It just smells absolutely delightful. Smell of summer. So this afternoon's job, you can see that bag behind me is kind of overflowing. So there is a special way of actually wrapping up the fleeces, so it comes off usually in one whole fleece. However, I'm not going to lie, yesterday I really lost enthusiasm when you actually do the sums of how much it's costing us to shear the sheep. The price that we get for selling the wool isn't even close to covering the costs of shearing, and it probably isn't a good example to set for me to say that I lost enthusiasm for wrapping the fleeces very well, because obviously it makes it difficult for the people processing at the other end, but ultimately we're not getting anything near enough for wool, a completely natural, sustainable product which can be used for so many things, and it is not being utilised anywhere near enough. We want them to look like this. So that involves stitching up the bag, literally sewing it, and then it's ready to be taken away. Each bag, each wool sheet gets a couple of tags on. So they have British wool, and then they have our address details on the back. And here we are. This is what they look like clipped. Very happy with how they look. Hello, who are you being friendly? Yeah, they look really good. I'm very grateful to have their fleeces off. You'll notice the difference now with the grass. It's mown and drops in rows. And then the first thing we do is get it spread out to help it dry. Now you'll notice this morning it's about 6:30. It's quite grey and it is quite cold, which isn't really the drying weather we want, but hopefully the sun will come out later. My dad is currently on the tractor and I am coming to switch over with him and see how the grass is getting on. It's not made anywhere near hay yet. We may end up having to wrap it, so it'll be haylage. The difference between hay, haylage and silage is basically simply moisture content. Hay's the driest, and then hay doesn't need wrapping. Then we have haylage, has a bit more moisture and it needs wrapping, and then silage has the highest moisture content and will also be wrapped as well. It can be the case that the higher the moisture content, the more nutritious the crop is, but not always. You can make some absolutely cracking hay, which might be like rocket fuel, and then you can make rubbish silage. So it does depend on the whole. That can be the case, but it does depend what you're making and what the grass is like as well, what it's got in there variety wise, what it's like when you cut it. So there is definitely a little bit of a crisp to this, but still very, very green. It's a bit different to last year. We did cut this field last year and the clover in it was so stalky that it was really hard to get dry, but actually has a lot less clover in it this year. And yeah, we'll see. And there is my dad, who's about to get relieved of his tractor duties. The best thing about this job is that usually it's nice weather, and yeah, the job isn't too complicated. I'm going a little bit slower than usual. I've just turned the revs down a little bit on the tractor, just because, as you can see there, we're right in the hedge, and this does tend to throw a little bit of grass into the bottom of the hedge, so just trying to avoid that. But yeah, it's looking quite good and just starting to get that distinctive smell of hay as well. Well, haylage, cut grass, which is really, really nice. Heading around the edge of the field now, around the headlands. Slightly disappointed because we didn't get the GPS on this tractor in time, so it does mean that I'm having to watch where I'm going and make sure I drive in straighter lines as possible up the field, but not the end of the world. Very manageable without. Unfortunately, it's another really grey start to the day. Yesterday the sun came out really well in the afternoon, but there's just, well, it feels like it's kind of spitting in the wind a little bit now, which means that I'm going to say 99% chance of us not making hay, and we'll be making haylage and wrapping it instead, which is obviously an extra cost and extra work, but we'll do whatever we can to bring the grass in basically. By the time I put this video out, I'm not sure whether we'll have made it or not, so I might not be able to give you an update on what we end up doing. Well, I'm back turning this grass again. We've just had a really grey week, unfortunately. We definitely won't make hay. It's definitely going to be haylage, and we have the wrappers, so the people will bale it ourselves, and then we'll have the people come in to wrap it. It's not going to be on this video though, I'm afraid. This video will be out before. But thank you as always for watching, and if you enjoyed the episode, please do like and subscribe.